in this video, we're going to go over the best settings for competitive and how to improve your competitive gameplay. So, first of all, we're going to go over the best settings. So if you want better ping, because I know a lot of you guys do, and that's just one essential thing you need, is better internet connection. Because the better internet connection is, the better you'll play. That's really how that works. Like for taking walls, for rotating, for anything you need to do in competitive, you need good ping. So I'm gonna make this quick. There's an app called GearUpBooster. Put a little thing on the screen right here for you to see, and in the description there's a link, and if you use my code you get 3 days for free. Go ahead, download it with my link, try it for free. If you like it, go ahead, use it. Also, if you do like it and you want to buy a subscription, it is cheaper than any other one you could buy. Exit lag, no ping, it's better than all of them on price. Also, you get to try it out for 3 days for free, see how it works for you. Other than that, let's get right into some settings, and we're going to go ahead and start with, visual settings. So when you're playing competitive, you need decent settings, to see through zones, and, to keep your FPS, consistent. So we're going to go ahead and start with this. This colorblind. So this is a colorblind that Placxe uses. He actually uses 7, I'm pretty sure, GearUpBooster 7. I don't know if you know him from like OG. He used to do a lot of box fights, and he'd play GearUpBooster 7. But I use 5. I use a little bit lower because I'm not colorblind. I like to see a little bit of colors. This I feel like kind of just like drains the color from everything, makes it look a little boring. But on top of that, 100% brightness, and then I use 90% 3D res. It's not going to be like a crazy difference. It might maybe like 10 FPS difference, but nothing crazy. Other than that, you keep your view distances on near, low, off. Just because you don't want to see everything, because if you're playing competitive, having everything loaded in is not the best idea. Like far away, stuff like that. You just don't want it. It kind of speaks for itself there. Another thing I would recommend for competitive is having your FPS on. I know a lot of people think that causes a lot more delay, having FPS on, because there's numbers moving all the time. But having it on is a good idea, so you can base yourself off your FPS. If your FPS is bad, play a little slower, stuff like that. And other than that, these 2 energy savers need to be off. I've said this in many videos, but they must be off. Okay, it's not a good idea to have on. Have them off. Okay. Okay, other than that, there's a few settings in here like replays. I recommend having every replay off. Yes, you might want to go back and watch your competitive gameplay, but if you want to do good in competitive, I recommend having your replays off, as it will help you with a lot of input delay. On top of that, FPS, because it's technically recording the entire match as you play with replays on, so you should have it off. If you have NVIDIA highlights off, okay, that's something you need off. Peripheral lighting, I've mentioned this before. Have that off. There's no difference with your gameplay. Just having it off gives you more, FPS and everything like that. Pretty much everything else is up to you. Damage numbers up to you. But there's one thing I would recommend, is your HUD scale being a lot smaller, as there's a lot less to distract you. You can still see your HUD scale on 60%, but it's also better being smaller, if you know what I mean. For me, this could just be like placebo, but I think having my HUD scale on 60% actually helps me a lot with delay, and I'm really big on how my input delay is. So I definitely feel the difference, okay? Alright, another thing I recommend, guys, if you're a fast player, you're doing a whole bunch of edits, and you don't pre-edit as much, I recommend you have pre-edit options off, okay? Disable pre-edit option. Mine is on for disabling it, okay? Make sure yours is on, okay? Because unless you're doing a bunch of pre-edits, which usually, if you're like the person that goes out and frags a lot, you're not the one doing the pre-edits. It's more the IGL. And if you're a solo player, you're probably not going to be doing pre-edits anyways. So I recommend just having this on. The pre-edits off, but it says on, just because it's not a good thing, really, in comp. It's kind of outdated as well. I know a lot of people would spray a wall and just take it. It's a little outdated. There's ways around it. So if you don't want to mess up your edits, accidentally pre-edit a window and then get, domed through your window, I recommend having this off. So moving on from, the settings, that's pretty much it for settings. Everything else is all preference. It's all up to you. It's all up to you. We're going to work on how you should play while playing competitive. When playing competitive, there's, a lot of things that you need to focus on. One is where you land. I would recommend landing a not so popular spot, but, a decent spot where you get a few kills, or maybe sometimes there's nobody there. And I'll say that because, you don't want to be heavily contested at your drop spot in a competitive match. That's really not the best idea to have that happen, especially when you want to do good. I mean, if you're all about W King, who cares? Go ahead, land wherever you want, But I really highly recommend you land somewhere like Lonely, stuff like that. A little bit away from everybody, a little bit off the map, and play your game from there as best as you can. On top of that, mid-match, I recommend if you're like a W tier like I am, I recommend going for island, as it helps you a lot with, you know, points. You know, you get like 15 points usually, just for getting island. And, you know, the way, as you can see here, the way we're playing island is, you know, how you should play island. You have, you know, if you're in duos, one person holds, you know, the flag down, while you hold everything down. You're on the roof is where you need to be, or at least high up above the flag. And you can hold the entire POI down, this little flag here, this entire place down, just for the extra points. And on top of that, you get a lot of fighting. So if you're the kind of person that likes to just W key and fight the whole time, like I am, you know, going for flag is a pretty good idea, unless there's already people on it, because they're probably going to be doing exactly what we're doing here, which is just holding it down while we claim it. There's a few other things to note. While fighting, you know, I recommend, if you're high ping like I am, you know, I'm usually around 60 ping in competitive. I started using GearUp, now I'm around 40, but, so 40 ping in comp, like I am, because I'm an East player, not a Central. I recommend you take a little bit of things slow. Think about what you're doing. Play them a little bit smarter than what you normally would if you were low ping. Could just W key and you know, just beat everybody you're fighting, because ping differences and, you know, stuff like that. I recommend you take stuff slow. You know, go for high ground, play height. Don't jump in people's boxes unless you absolutely have to. You know, just playing height like I am here is a very good idea. Just because, you know, as you can see, I'm controlling the area. I'm really controlling the fights here. You know, me, you know, beaming people is really like, just stopping the fights. You know, it's just controlling it, right? You know, I'm the one that's going to come out alive in this fight, and it's, you know, the best way to play. I see people gliding in, and I go right up to height. You know, I'm like, you know, there's people coming in. I tell my teammate, hey, get up. We need to, you know, do exactly what we've been doing, which is holding this place down and keeping height. And the reason we're holding flag down even after we got the flag is because it is the safest place to be. I mean, I know that sounds crazy with all the fighting we're getting, but it is the safest place to be. Nobody's really going to contest flag unless they're crazy, like fighting. So, you know, you're pretty much safe. If you have the roof and you have height held down, you're pretty much safe on flag. You know, you're not down there on the ground, you know, fighting or worried about fighting or rotating or anything like that. You can sit on flag where there's launch pads and rotate, you know, when you want. Also, on top of that, you know, if you're not much of a fighter, not, you know, the best yet, you can play heals. Dude. You get so many heals from the flag. So just sitting up there on the flag, you know, it's a very good idea, because you can play storm if you have to. You can, you know, wait till zone closes completely. Just rotate how you like. So flag is a huge benefit of a competitive match. I want to go over a few more things, and that's fighting as a team. As you see, me and my teammate are right next to each other, like at all times here. Like he's right there, I'm right here. And the team we're fighting is just getting singled out, like really bad. Like they're fighting 1v2s because we're sticking together and they're not. So communication is another huge thing about competitive, especially duos. And if you're playing solos, I mean, you don't need communication because you're by yourself. But, you know, duos, like this season was, you know, pretty much every competitive thing this season was just duos. I recommend you have the best communication you can. I'm going ahead. This part we're a little separate. Would be a 1v1, and I can get to him and help if I need to. But I got a little separate because I was seeing if he was trying to rotate out. You know, we have the advantage here. And I just get in his box. Like, what is he going to do? We're both hopping in his box. It's a 1v2. There's nothing he can do. So sticking with your teammate when you're fighting and competitive is the biggest thing to do. And it's a huge advantage when fighting. Unless, like I showed earlier, us holding flag or me playing ahead, waiting for him to rotate out while my teammate puts pressure. So that's another huge tip to do while playing competitive and trying to do well. The last tip about playing competitive, when you get closer to endgame, I know this isn't a stacked endgame, but we, you know, kind of got lucky, got a little bit of a dead lobby in this round, but there's a team in front of us which is higher up than us, and there's a team under us to the left. You know, what we're saying to each other is, you know, we're going to help the team to our left, not team, of course, because you can't team, but we're going to help the team to our left to stay alive while we get rid of the only competition we have, which is the people that are going for height. As you can see, they're in front of us, above us. They're going to make a height play, and high ground is key to winning almost every match. You'll more than likely win with high ground. So, you know, we just keep pressure on these kids. But the people on our left of us, you know, yeah, they're shooting at us. Yeah, as I just got shot. Yeah, they're shooting at us, but we just stay away from them. You know, we don't put too much pressure onto them. And when we do, we don't, like, try to kill them. You know, we don't key them. We don't know that. We pretty much help them stay alive. Just so that way we can fight them at the end and have the advantage. Because we're above them. You know, we're just going to win this game if we get rid of our only competition, which is high ground. And as you can see, you know, we're putting some pretty decent pressure on them, and they're kind of forced to rotate here. because they had to come to us. They got unlucky. It didn't pull zone, and we continued to fight them. Even though we need to be rotating as well, we just continue to get rid of these guys, just to, get rid of this team. I dropped down here because, there's no point staying up that high when they're rotating. We're still up, and I kind of key this team, my teammates are right behind me too. It's not like I'm keying by myself, so just make sure you don't key by yourself, and, you key smart. Bush, okay? And this is where they made a mistake. They just split up completely. This one runs off over there, gets beamed, and the other one, I don't even know where he's at. Like, I have no clue where he went. They both just went different directions. I think they freaked out a little bit. And then here, it's kind of over for them. It's a 1v2 situation, and we kind of just played that game out. We used our advantages, and we played it very well to get the win here. On top of that, we used flag the entire time for placement points, for quick, easy elims, and all kind of things like that. So if you want easy wins and competitive, I recommend don't take crazy 50-50s, play together, and use flag and island to your advantage. So this is the end of the video. The gameplay I showed you was from the Skin Cup. We were a game away. We didn't have time. We started an hour late, so we kind of just W-keyed everything, as you saw. We were playing flag. I do want to mention, guys, playing the island is not for everybody, okay? I can make another video on how to play more casual and how to go for placement points. If you'd like, just let me know down in the comments. Also, in the comments will be the link pinned if you guys want to try out the app I use for better ping. And my code is Lzrgaming for 3-day free trial. That'll be pinned with the link. So thank you guys so much for watching, and please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.